Hi everyone and welcome back to AFTV Starting 11 show. My name is Laurie, I'm your host today. I'm joined by two esteemed guests. To my right, I've got my boy Lee Judges in the building. And to my left, I've got my sparring partner Turkish in the building. What are you saying, guys?
All good, man.
All good.
We're still basking in the reflected glory of Tuesday night.
100%, and why not? Like, you've got to be like really glowing from that. And every Arsenal fan you see at the moment, someone's got a big smile on
Everyone's smiling. It's funny because I came down Finsbury Park on the way here, man, and every Arsenal fan I saw had a big smile on their faces. Everyone's happy. The sun's out.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. You've got, like, you know, listen, I'll say it now, the tie's not over, but anything can happen over there. But you've just won 3-0. You've played that unbelievably well. Got to enjoy it. That's what I mean? And also enjoy the misery of the other fans, you know what I mean, around that are not happy.
The nervousness.
Yeah, they're not happy, like, you know. So enjoy everything about it at the moment, because I'll tell you, come Wednesday, 100%. You're not going to for that 90 minutes. But listen, it was a fantastic performance. And
you were there, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, myself and Turkish, we were at Box Park.
Yeah, that looked pretty lit as well.
Oh, man, that was proper, man. Shout out to Eugene and all the guys over at Box Park. My boy Deanie, he's over there. He was in the house. He will attest to it. The atmosphere. It was like being at a football game.
I'll tell you what, I actually said, because I see all the clips and everything that, and I said that if you weren't at the game, that was got to be the next best place.
Oh, yeah. Listen, even myself, now you've known me for a long time. You know I'm not the most demonstrative of people. I normally keep my emotions quite in check, even when it comes to football. But that night, I was jumping up and down, singing, doing all stuff that I wouldn't normally do. Such was the occasion. But you being at the game, tell us about the atmosphere, because people tell me that's the best ever.
Yeah.
Being involved. Would you say that?
Yeah, I would say that. Look, we've had some great nights there, like, you know, and but that one was special. And rightly so, you know. People say, no, it's the best ever night Arsenal have had, like, you know. Don't be so ridiculous. We've won the championship, you know, the title on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, we've won against Liverpool. We've won European trophies. We've won at nights. You know, we've won semi-finals and things like that. Like, you know, so you know, don't let people try and mock you. Like, you know what I mean? Jason Cundy saying things like that. Like,
oh,
you know?
Cundy, he's just heartbroken.
Don't let people spoil it for you. You know. What I'm saying, you've got to enjoy it. But yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's something that you're never going to get back. Like, listen, you're going to go to the game today, you're not going to get nowhere near that today. I'm walking down the road, and I didn't know what was going to happen, Laurie. I didn't know if we was going to win 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, or get beat 3-0. You didn't know. You was a little bit wary of it. You thought, like, anything can happen.
I mean, you're up against Real Madrid, like 15 times champions, current holders.
You could get spanked. You know that, like, you know what I mean? You didn't really know what was going, but walking down to the ground, the atmosphere, it was mad. You know, like, they had the march and everything going.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The drums and the singing. And before, so, you know, 10 minutes away from the ground, you was, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. And you got into the ground.
Like Phil Collins.
Yeah. It was like, it was. It was something in the air that night, you know what I mean? And he got into the stadium, and the stadium was packed way before kick-off. And, you know, I'm not one for that. I normally get in there just about 5 minutes before it. Like, you know, don't see the warm-up and everything like that. But I did, and I was buzzing for it. And then when actually the game kicked off and all that, I have to say the fans were unbelievable all night. Read the room well. That was the thing about the Arsenal fans on Tuesday. I thought they read the room well. And I mean by that is that there was just a couple of times when it was just getting a little bit low or whatever, and the fans lifted it up, like, you know. And they sung that, you know, Arsenal are the greatest team the world has ever seen. And the whole stadium was singing it, apart from the Real Madrid fans. And, you know, going back in the old days, that was never like that. Like, you know, it was probably like the clock end and the North Bank. The East and West stands would never do it. Everybody was singing it, and it was just... I was in awe of it, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it was fantastic, and to get the result as well, brilliant.
And Turkish, like me saying earlier, the Box Park was lit as well. Describe your emotions after those Declan Rice free kicks.
Obviously Lee used how some people are saying greatest night, Arsenal's as mockery. They are, and Lee's right in what he's saying there. But there's a lot of young fans out there where it rings true. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. I haven't seen a performance like that against a club like Real Madrid for a very long time. So it was a great night. Lee's right. No one should be able to ruin that. I'm actually pretty confident we've got most of the job done. I think Real have a chance, but it's what it's about, especially at this level, because you have to build that belief. The problem going into that game is we didn't have much in line of results and performances like that against elite European teams to be really confident. Now we have that moving forward into any game, whether it's a semi-finals potentially coming up or next season's knockout stages. That's how you build a platform and foundation for belief, not just for the fans and myself, for example, or the players as well. Because that on your resume for a Declan Rice, for example, Mourinho's finish, that'll live long in memory. Henry at the Bernabeu, we didn't win the Champions League that year, but it's an iconic image, it's an iconic moment. Even though us three on the table have seen us lift, the biggest domestic trophies multiple times, that moment is still up there with some of the very best, like Declan Rice's moment now is. But now it's about getting your hands on the trophies now. But that definitely builds the belief to it, because Real Madrid are no joke. Even though they're not the strongest Real Madrid we've seen in the last 10, 15, 20 years maybe, they're still Real Madrid, still have quality. They still have Ancelotti, who's a generational manager, one of the best of all time, probably top 5 of all time when you look at his resume across different leagues and what he's done. So no joke of a result, no joke of a performance.
No, that was a brilliant result. And some people are saying it could be a watershed moment, meaning that obviously that result, the ramifications of that result now mean that Arsenal have shown, not only to themselves but to the rest of the world, that they can go head to head with these big teams in Europe and not just beat them, but beat them comprehensively.
It's really funny. Turkish makes a great point there. Probably not the greatest Real Madrid side, but this is a Real Madrid side that everybody was saying you've got zero chance of beating, mocking us and saying don't be deluded when you're not beating Real Madrid, and then as soon as you do beat them, they're not that great. You know what I mean? So I don't listen to any of that. We made them look poor that night, and we was fantastic. And it is a great point. We do go back and Henry's goal and that performance in the Bernabeu that day gives me a smile on my face. You know what I mean? When that was a day when you think, wow, Arsenal are there again. That I did think that. Look, we was invincible a year before that, or a couple of years before that, 2006, wasn't it? So two years before that. But you've beating Real Madrid over there was a moment when you think, right, we're on the European stage. And the greatest thing for me, I've said it all the time, was that game was a watershed moment for me, because I looked at the game against Bayern Munich last season. There was a time in that game when we could have done exactly what we done on Tuesday to Bayern Munich last season, but we failed. We missed a chance and then we made mistakes. This time around we didn't. We took our chances, we learned from it, and there was a spell in that last 10 minutes, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, there was a chance that we could go on and maybe get another one.
Out of sight, yeah.
But we there was always that caution of, right, we ain't letting them in as well, do you know? So I just feel it was a very, very all-round, complete performance, as European football goes. Learning lessons. I watched the Aston Villa game the next day, 2-1. A little bit of inexperience coming for them when they should have probably said, you know what, we'll take the 2-1. We'll have this and see what happens. But they left themselves a little bit open and end up losing 3-1. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a little bit naivety, which I think in that game against Bayern Munich we showed none of that. So now we've got to show that sort of, we've learnt from previous games when we go over to Spain now and get the job done, because that is what you put yourselves in a position now where you've got to get the job done. And if Arsenal go over there on Wednesday and do that, I think people will be thinking Arsenal were the real deal.
Never right, yeah. And you're so right about the in-game management. That is crucial, and that is going to be extra crucial come next week. But that's next week. So we don't want to look too far ahead because we've got a big game today. Okay, a lot of people are looking at this game thinking, it's like the hors d'oeuvre, but it is still an important game. It's a Premier League game. It's London derby. We must win it. And the interesting thing about today, and I'm going to touch on this now, is what changes to the team do you think the manager will make? I think it's inevitable that he's going to rest players. Start with you, Turkish. If you're managing today, which players are you going to rest? How are you going to rotate the team?
I'd probably, I'd go wholesale, make as many changes as possible.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because I think that I said it. We was talking preview as well. I said it's a massive opportunity for players on the fringes to still play a big part this season. I don't mean in the league, but I mean get yourself ready for a potential substitute appearance 20 minutes into a semi-final of the Champions League. If we're talking attackers, especially, defenders as well. We've seen across the season the bad luck of injuries and opportunities that have popped up for whoever it may be, a Lewis Skelly at left back or a Kivior recently at centre back. So I'm looking at Tierney, I'm looking at Trossard, I'm looking at Nwaneri, I'm looking at these players to start, Sterling even to start, because we might potentially, in all likelihood, we probably will need them. Yeah. If we progress past Real in the second leg, which we should, in my opinion, I agree with Lee. There's a chance, but I think we should. Then we've got 2, potentially 3 massive games coming up that can be career defining for a lot of these players. Yep. Some have got 2 months left. Some have got just over a year left. They can go out with a huge bang. Even as Sterling, who has, been a non-entity in terms of a transfer, a dud of a transfer overall, not just on him, it's on the club as well. Mm-hmm. If he pops up in a Champions League semi-final off the bench and scores a goal that proves crucial to us getting to the final, and then we go and win that final potentially, guess what? We look at that goal as what defined his loan at Arsenal for that year. Mm-hmm. So even a Sterling, and that's probably the basement of substitutes we've looked at over the years, in terms of reliability. We haven't relied upon him at all. But they all have a massive shout now, because 4 days ago, it was a stretch to think, we're going to get past Real Madrid confidently. Now, it's far from a stretch. Now we should. So a lot of these players should be looking at it like, all right, let me do my thing. I think Arteta should give them a chance to do their thing and be ready on their toes for a potential appearance in a Champions League semi-final and some league action as well, whether it is your final few months or last year or whatever. League action is still of somewhat importance in terms of just securing what Champions League football for next season, regardless of this competition. But this competition, I think we need to try to protect as many players as possible, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's rumours going around, and our social team, shout out to Connor, he sent me some what people are saying, and will be multiple changes today. Starting with Partey goes to right back. Coming in are Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Nwaneri, Rice and Saliba keeping their places, and Trossard's coming in. Lee, if that is indeed the case, are you happy with that?
Not really. I don't want to see Declan Rice playing today. I took a little bit of a knock. So I'm with Turkish. I'd make a few changes. I'd definitely keep Kivior in though, because I think in these games needs more minutes. I would change the goalkeeper today as well.
Really?
I would. I know Ray has been fantastic and all that, but I think he's vital for the game on Wednesday night. So I wouldn't want to take no risks with him. But I can see Zinchenko coming in to midfield with Jorginho. I would actually play probably Marino in the midfield as well for this game. Like my front three would be Trossard, Sterling, and Nwaneri.
What about Sterling? No one's for Sterling.
Sterling plays today. Plays wide. Ben White's got to play. Now where is Connor saying Ben White's playing?
You know what? I was just looking through the list again, because I'd realised when I read this out that I hadn't read out Ben White's name, so I went back to see if I'd missed it. But according to the names I've been given here, he doesn't appear to be on the list of changes that we've been sent. I mean, maybe that's premature. I don't know.
Well, these
guys are normally quite accurate with their predictions.
I don't really want to see Timber neither. I think he deserves a rest.
No, 100%. Timber, Saliba, I'd be looking at protecting Rice. 100%.
So if you take out Saliba, who would you put in?
I mean, it's about to come out now, but I would have definitely protected one or the other in Saliba or Timber.
Yeah, I do agree with Leader. I think Kivior needs more minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, he made a nervous start the other day, but by the end of the game,
he played well.
He looked quite composed, played well.
Did you mention Calafiori?
No, I didn't.
So he's a week off then.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I'll let Turkish check and see once the starting 11 is official.
Should be out any second now.
Any minutes. But Lee, I would agree with you. I would like to see Sterling. He's not on the list here. It would be somewhat surprising if he didn't start.
Yeah, very surprised.
I mean, the last time he played for Arsenal, he did get.
He done all right. He done all right against Everton. He done all right against Everton. I don't like Saka. I wouldn't start today. Like, you know, I'd give him a rest. I'd even give Martinelli a rest today. We're out. Go on. Far away.
Turkish, take it away.
Cool. So team is out. Raya in goal. Saliba Kivior partnership remains. Tierney's left back. Partey is right back. Then you have Jorginho, Rice, and Zinchenko midfield, and Ranieri, Martinelli, and Trossard front three. Sterling on the bench. Marino on the bench. Saka, Odegaard, Skelly, Timber, all on the bench with Henry Francis and Butler Oyadeji. So Zinzini's in the 8. Partey's at right back.
And no Ben White at all.
No Ben White at all.
So we would have to assume by that then that this injury problem that he's got is continuing.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody see it, but he was training. He had some big bandages all over his knee, didn't he?
Really?
Something's not right.
It's a real shame, though.
Yeah, so he probably needs a little bit more time off. He's actually come back and not look right neither, so that's a big blow. Big blow.
I remember last week prior to the Real Madrid first leg, myself, Turkish, James and Cecil, we were discussing it, and it was kind of 50-50. I think James and Turkish were suggesting that Ben White should start. They would start Ben White, and myself and Cecil saying that we go with Kivior. But given what we're seeing now, or given what you're seeing, maybe that question wasn't even in the equation, because if he's not fit today, then we have to assume that he wasn't ready on.
I think you're right, and I think that there's obviously been some issues. It's not quite right, and listen, I'd rather
it's starting to become a worry for you.
Well, it always is when someone like that has had a long-term injury and then comes back and it's still not right. You know, he's had the operation, so. He must be feeling some sort of pain in there or whatever. Like, best thing to do is just leave him out now for these few games and make sure we get it right.
So wait, because Rice could. I mean, I probably would have gone Odegaard to play this game because he needs to play in a bit of form. And Rice has looked knackered in a couple of. Is Zinchenko the 10 then? Because I'm sorry, I said 8 before, but Rice is playing. Yeah. Jorginho's definitely the 6.
Yeah, Zinchenko probably played that role, yeah.
Yeah, I would have probably played Odegaard, Zinchenko 8, and then left Rice out of it, if I'm honest with you. I don't mind the team overall. I think it's strong.
Yeah, I mean, the team that he's put out is good enough to beat Brentford. I mean, he got a very good record against Brentford anyway, especially at home in the Premier League. But yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed at that, because I would have thought of the senior players. Odegaard is one that needs minutes, because he
hasn't been good. He needs
that could even be an understatement.
Yeah,
I mean, form recently. I mean, the one thing I would say about Odegaard, because I'm an admirer of Odegaard, right? So I'm going to say this, yeah. His form has not been anywhere near the levels that he certainly last season, for example.
Yeah,
but you can see that he's still trying. Sometimes he's trying a bit too hard, if you ask me, and he never hides. He's always showing for the ball.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What do you think? Do you think he's hiding?
No, I don't think he's hiding. I think that his work rate is can't be questioned.
His work rate is good, bro.
His work rate is good.
Yeah, I don't think you can't question his work rate.
That time he ran into the back post.
I knew you were going to ring that.
And came behind 4.
I knew you were going to ring.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Well, that was hide and seek.
No, but was that hiding though? Or was that just?
Bro, you're behind one. You're through on goal and you end up behind 4 men.
The other way.
If that's not hiding.
He tried to give the player the one-on-one situation.
The way I interpreted that is that he ran to the left to give an option.
Yeah.
But hey, man, when you're not informed, you know, this is what happens.
No, I don't want to.
He's not been the same player since the injury. I think, you know, people underestimate, I think, how bad that injury was, and I think that he probably was rushed back too quick. First 2 months of that, you're still playing with pain and whatever. And I just think he's not been quite at the level that he should have been. Work rate and everything's there. Sometimes when you've had a little injury and you've been out a little while, just that little bit is missing, and he just can't get it back for whatever reason, like, you know.
Confidence.
And but I'm with Turkish, and I'd say to him today, look, you know, this is a game with not much pressure. Go out there and try and play, you know.
I'm surprised
he's not been.
And 3 runners in front for what, like Trossard, Martinelli, and Ranieri. You know, it's...
Sometimes when you're not in form, you know, in any sport, we've seen it in cricket. I know, Lee, you love your cricket. You know that. So if an opening batsman is not getting the runs, they say you have to play through that.
Play back
and
in the form.
Eventually you get that, you know what I mean, that big innings, and that kick-starts your form. Obviously, you can't be off form forever, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I thought that they would have included him today. I mean, you know, it's a game that Arsenal should be fairly confident in winning.
I think he'll come on at some stage.
Yeah, I would have.
But what was disappointing, he come on against Everton last week and never contributed one thing.
That's why I would have started him today, because we tried that whole, like, bench him and then...
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Yeah, so I would have given him the game today. Home, Brentford, Brentford will... I don't think it'll be a low block, mid block.
Yeah, a bit of everything today.
More mid.
Yeah, we should have our... Yeah, I would have probably... But is this not bash? You know,
what's the Brentford team, by the way?
To be honest, I haven't even got up yet. But
while you're finding that, should note that Jack Henry Francis, he's in the starting lineup today. Well, not the starting lineup. He's in the subs.
Yeah, who else is on the bench?
It's his first team call-up debut. So
I got their team there. No particular order. Flecken's obviously the keeper. And they got Aya, Collins, Damsgaard, Janelt, Lewis Potter, Mbomo, Norgard, Shade, Vandenberg and Visa.
Wow.
And let me look at their bench quickly. Okay, so he's back, yeah, sorry. Rico Henry, I remember he had a big injury, no? Earlier on in the season.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Started the season well, was it a broken leg or something?
Good player.
He's on the bench, Ben Mee's on the bench, Pinnock's on the bench as well, so a few of their...
Players returning.
Yeah, a few of their players are returning, Jensen. Okay.
I mean, if you're Brentford, you'll be seeing a window of opportunity here, won't you, Lee?
100%.
They will look at it like Arsenal are focused on other things. They've got a heavily rotated side. Brentford have not done well at Arsenal in recent years. I'm sure the manager's telling them this is as good a time as any to get one over.
Yeah, I think that he has done, and I think that's where Arteta's been quite clever by putting in not a full strength side, but making a few, not that many changes as I thought. Like Declan Rice playing, so he sort of said, look, you know, we've got one eye on Real Madrid, but there's still a game here to play. Yeah. You know, and playing someone like Declan Rice, who's guaranteed, Saliba as well, guaranteed to be playing on Wednesday, if fit. He's taking that them into this game, so there is a little bit of that, a little bit of kidology going on there. But at the end of the day, I don't care who you are. With Declan Rice, you're Martin Odegaard, you've got one eye on Wednesday night. I don't care what you say. Like, you always want to play. If you've got a big game coming up at any level, you want to play. But there's always that thought of, you know, and I think that would be on our minds today. Yeah. What we need to do is go out there quickly, look good in the first 20-25 minutes and put it to bed. But the longer the game goes on, I think it will be better for... definitely for Brentford. And I've always said it, Brentford are big admirers of them because they are no mugs. They're a team that's definitely punching above their weight and doing a good job. Yeah,
they are. Yeah, and they're a well-coached team. Thomas Frank's very good manager. Got some good players in Mbeumo, Wissa. Right through the team they've got talent. So, they can't be underestimated. And like I said, I wouldn't say it's a free hit for them today, but you know what I'm saying. It's like they're coming today. They're hoping to catch Arsenal slipping Turkish.
Yeah, I mean, they got hopes of finishing top half, maybe grabbing a European spot, depending on the winners and losers of the 3 remaining European competitions, and FA Cup included. They all dropped down in the European places, so I guess there's still a faint hope of that for them. But listen, last 7 games of the season now, so
into the home straight.
And sometimes when you play with freedom, it suits players that Mbeumo and Visa. So they've got their threats.
They've definitely got to go for it.
We're strong enough for me to think we should still see off this game and make changes early to a couple more that need protecting.
Got a super chat here from Enchanted Angel. Now, Lee, don't shoot the messenger. Yeah? I'm just reading this.
Okay.
So don't come at me. Lee looks like a cross between Levy and L from LOTR. What is LOTR?
I have no idea.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, right, okay. I've never watched Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. Is that an insult or a compliment?
Probably.
Sounds like an insult.
Is that an insult? He said he looks like between Levy and an elf. Even if you just said that, bro. Like, what elf in the world do you know that?
I tread cautiously because I've never watched Lord of the Rings.
No, nor have I. I've never seen it.
It didn't sound like a compliment.
I'll search it. Why not?
Whilst you're doing that, Turkish, we should give a little tribute here to George Fox, who unfortunately passed away recently. He's only a young lad. And on behalf of AFTV, condolences to his family, friends, associates. Just a young lad and passed away. I think it was through cancer, was it? But he passed on the 12th of April, so very sad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah,
Sad news.
I don't like to hear things like that.
Very sad news. As a person that's been hit by family tragedy myself in recent years, I kind of have a little understanding of what the parents and family must be going through. So yeah, shout out to George Fox and his family. Yeah, so back to the game today. I'll tell you what will be interesting today, Lee, is if and when Arsenal get a free kick near the box, who do you think is going to step up and take it?
I think that's why Declan Rice is there today. Like, for the same reason that he's let just in case he didn't have a free kick.
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? So I'm sure you know this. Arsenal, prior to Tuesday night, we'd gone 3.5 years without scoring direct from a free kick. Declan Rice scores 2, in 13 minutes, and both worldies. I guess my question to you, Lee, and I'll be interested to hear your answer, which is the best one of those two worldies? The second one.
Second one. I've never seen a free kick in my life like it.
Wow.
You've watched plenty of football. I've seen a lot of football, seen lots of free kicks, I felt a few free, Paul Gascoigne's one against Arsenal in '91, and always talks about it, but I thought Seaman should have done better with it. But I
remember that one. Yeah,
I honestly think that this free kick, I've seen Thierry Henry score a couple of free kicks. I don't know if you
would have seen Beckham's.
Yeah,
Van Persie scored a couple.
Van Persie scored a couple. I've seen Brian Talbot score a wonder one against Liverpool once at Highbury.
Do you know what's up there though? Actually, I thought of one. The Cazorla FA Cup final one is.
That was brought up to. It was a great fit, but again, you'd question the goalkeeper.
You might, but it was further out as well. If I'm not mistaken,
it was a very, very good goal. Probably a lot more. That was one that was desperately needed, but to get it where he got it, the way I look at it, no goalkeeper in the world could have saved that. And I look at the Cazorla one's a great point there, and I just think there's sometimes you think, the goalkeeper might have got that, might have done better. I don't think
You was at the game though, yeah, because I think the second one was better, but I think the first one felt better. There was
the first one gives him the confidence to go for the second.
I get what you're saying, because the first one,
because I felt like we should have been up in the game, but the same old thing. Chances.
It was just isn't our day and all that, and then he just whacked that. It was probably the more needed one of the two. But then the second one, I remember just turning around to my mate James, who sits next to me, and just said, if he scores this, the roof's going to go off. But mucking about.
Yeah.
We wasn't never thinking that it was going to happen.
Was that what for the first one?
No, for the second one. We said, look, and then for the second one to go in, it was just in dreamland. You know what I mean? But I didn't really realise how good it actually was until you see it again.
Yeah.
But
the bend he gets on that first one.
Power and bend was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, if I'm being really critical, maybe that he didn't set the wall up properly enough for the first one, but it's a wonder goal.
It goes out and in regardless.
I'd love to have been at, the Roberto Carlos one for that one, just to actually see what you actually, the mindset is going in. Did you people have gone away thinking, it's a great free kick, and then realise when they got home it was so much better.
Yeah.
I knew it was a great free kick. I knew both were great free kicks, but the second one, I look back on it and I think, wow, I don't think I've seen a better free kick than that.
Nah.
I'm struggling to. I mean, obviously the Roberto Carlos one is the only one that I can think of recently that
Yeah, but I never see that live.
There's competition, but it's one of them. I mean, Beckham Greece was a fucking.
Beckham again. I would say that was an unbelievable one, but I wasn't there for that one.
I'll be in there. Xhaka was a good one. Remember the Palace at the edge of the box?
Yeah, it was. It was.
But this is Real Madrid.
Yeah, this is Real Madrid,
and it's Courtois in goal as well.
Yeah, it was having an absolute worldie. So you have to think of it like that.
And what struck me about those free kicks, was the looks on the faces of the Real Madrid players. I mean, for me, that was poignant because we're talking about guys who've seen it all. They're the proper big man. Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Courtois himself, Ancelotti, all these men were looking like they could not believe what, you know what I mean? And that struck with me because I thought, these are men that have seen everything. They've played at the top level for many, many years, and they've seen most things, if not everything. And here they are looking and just shaking their Bellingham, just looking there aghast, shaking his head, thinking, wow, you know what I mean?
What a goal.
And then 30 minutes later, the man does it again.
And I'll tell you something now, Mourinho's goal will never be talked about in the same vein, but it was an unbelievable finish. But there'll always be those 2 free kicks, What was the game against Real Madrid? And you think, well, Mourinho, good goal, but
that was a brilliant thing. I'll tell you why I love that finish so much is because the way he contorted his body, get round it, the accuracy of that finish again gave Courtois no chance. And what that goal does, I mean, 2-0 would have been a great result. But 3-0, that really gives us a little bit of room to spare now.
Yeah, it gives us
just a little bit of breathing, you know what I mean? So you can rock up on Wednesday.
Be really honest, if you'd have said to me, if Arsenal would have won 2-0, I would have turned around and said, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2-0 50-50, but 3-0 makes it 80-20. That's for me.
75-25.
Now I'm remember forever. I said all of a sudden I'm the fucking one that. Come on, mate.
No, you've been very positive about it.
No, but the way we controlled it. But listen, I'm no fool. Let's get through the first 10 minutes, 15, 20.
Well, I think it's more than the first 10 minutes. A lot of people said that. As long as we get through the first 15.
First half.
You got to look at it, right? So the way I look at it is this: we scored our first goal the other day on the 57th.
Yeah, exactly.
We then scored on the 70th. Well, that's 13 minutes. Then we scored 5 minutes after that. So that's 18 minutes. We scored 3 goals in 18 minutes. So that tells you
it can be done.
It can be done in a very relatively quick space of time. So
even
if it's 0-0 after 60, 70 minutes, you can't
let off. You
can't.
It's not going to be don't think you're going to listen, Arsenal fans. Don't think it's going to be enjoyable Wednesday night. It's not.
But then I think we can get a goal.
But that's part of the enjoyment.
That's part of the enjoyment.
It's crazy,
that's part of what
it
it is being a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I walked out of that ground thinking that I'd played 90 minutes. I genuinely did. Stress and everything like that. I feel like I'll be doing it again on Wednesday. But listen, that's what you're going to go through for it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you're going to win the Champions League, you ain't going to have an easy path of going. There's going to be moments when you're going to be hanging on and. Hopefully not in this way. Maybe the semi-final, whatever.
No, but you are right about it, and I'll tell you why. Because the quality of the teams you're up against, you can't afford to get caught.
I remember when we beat Real Madrid, we thought, I've got Villarreal in the next round. That was just as tough, just as tough. And if you need a little bit of lady luck, and I'll tell you that now, if Lehmann doesn't save that penalty, they would have beaten us. We was gone physically,
hanging on.
So yeah.
Right, we're drawing to a close now. Game starts at 5:30, and we're doing a watch along for that. Yourself, James, we've got Dean in the building. That will be lit, I'm sure. But in terms of predictions for the game, let's start with my man Lee.
2-1 today. I don't think it's going to be a great game.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, why not?
I just think 9 times out of 10, they ain't been great this season. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
There's a few changes.
It could be entertaining today because, like my guy Turkish said, he don't think that Brentford will deploy a low block.
They'll have a bit of pressure off.
So they'll go for it. They've got players that can hurt you on the break as well. I think the vibes, the mood of the ground and stuff, I think it will encourage the players to... I mean, it's not one of them that... There's no real jeopardy in this game for us.
So even
if we lost it, it's not like... So... I would hope that would encourage them to come out and play today.
Still a little bit exciting with the front three, you know what I mean? Martinelli in there and all that, like, so, yeah, but, you know, I see it as that. I'm not changing my mind. I am miserable, so like, you know?
Did you predict 2-1 forever as well?
Yes, we both did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Turkish, how do you see it going today?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1? I'm going for a 2-goal swing, so either 2-0 or 3-1. I'll go 2-0. I think we might get another clean sheet today. And if we do that, that puts us in fine fettle, really, doesn't it?
Listen, any positive result today puts us in a good position. Like,
but especially if we keep a clean sheet.
Because
we're thinking...
Keep a clean sheet, defend properly.
On point, and that's what is going to be really crucial on Wednesday.
Make sure that we do that. Make sure that we keep... I think momentum in football is a big thing. I think that a defeat can stifle your confidence a little bit.
Definitely.
Just make not all the time, but can make you doubt yourself. Put doubts into your mind. You know, we're a good side, and all of a sudden someone's come and done this to you. Can another team do it? So you have to build another block to get that going again. So look, listen, we're on a crest of a wave at the moment. Let's ride it and keep going.
Yep, I think that's pretty much everything done. Turkish, you want to say anything in closing?
No. Best
Looking
wishes.
forward to the game?
Yeah. Calm, free. Looking forward to Madrid more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'll be going to the game today. I haven't been for a few weeks, so I'm definitely looking forward to today. As you guys said, there's a few players on the periphery of the team. They're getting an opportunity to do their thing today, so let's see how they get on. But listen, guys, Turkish,
Love.
Lee, thank you so much for coming on and giving us the benefit of your
Wisdom
and knowledge and experience.
Good looks, everything.
Guys, everybody watching, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the people who contributed in terms of comments and super chats. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to watch out for the watch along that we're doing. I think we're on air about 20 minutes before the start of the game. Shout out to everybody. Let's hope Arsenal can go in there and get it done today and then move on to Wednesday. Thank you so much. See you soon. We're out.